What's up, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good night, whichever it may be, wherever you are right now. Hello, I'm back. Jonsik here, and we're actually outside of Amsterdam right now. We're actually in the Netherlands, and we're actually gonna check out the windmills. We actually have a tour, so we'll be touring more of the countryside, seeing a few smaller cities, a few smaller towns. That's where we're gonna be. So the sun will be out soon. I promise. Well, maybe it'll be brighter than it is right now. But we'll go take a look up close and personal with these guys and see what we can get up to. This place is actually called Sansa's Park, I think, and it's actually the four windmills behind me. They're no longer in use, but they are going to keep them around for historical significance. But we are going to see them up close, and yeah, let's go take a look. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the windmills. The weather's a little bit better now. We're now in the small town of Edamm. Yes, Edamm cheese. The same place. And actually we're going to see them make cheese. Edamm and Gouda. And here I think they call it Gouda. I think so. Don't quote me exactly. We're going to be able to witness all of that stuff. But it's beautiful here. Nice small houses. I think the population size is only about 7,000 people. So it's quite impressive. A lot of rivers and dams throughout, and it's amazing. Just to get away from Amsterdam just for a bit, just to see what the rest of the Netherlands looks like. People are just going about their day, going about their business. It's very nice. It's very quiet.
I first explained to you how we make cheese. After the cheese there is an explanation about food and shoes. And on the end, the best part of the tour is coming, cheese tasting! And every morning, first of all, we start with milking cows. Yeah, because no cow, no milk, no cheese. And this is how they look like in Holland. And we do have special cows that works like this. 25-30 liters of milk each day. In your country they are still using this part, but Holland we have modern cows. And from the modern cows we make Gouda and Edamm cheese. Gouda is made from whole milk, Edamm is made from skimmed milk. Less fat. That's the difference between Gouda and Edamm cheese. We do also make goat cheese. A goat is producing 4 liters of milk each day. We also have sheep only 2 liters. Now after the work, the milking in the morning, we put milk in a container and the milk has to be 29 degrees. Then we put first bacterial culture into the milk. It looks similar like yogurt. After that we put the rennet inside. This is rennet. And rennet makes the milk thick like pudding in a half an hour. This here is enough for 500 liters of milk. When the milk is a pudding, then we start cutting the pudding with the 3 knives. They are turning around in the machine very, very slowly. And while cutting, cheese and water, curds and whey separates. 10% is curds, 90% is the green water, the whey. And whey is a product which we cannot use. So we give it all back to our animals to drink. For the cows, the goats, the sheep, the tourists. But don't worry, it's very healthy. There is a legend, they say that if you drink it every day, you will stay young. And yes, I have tried it. I am 93. Now the curds, the little pieces of cheese, we put them into these forks and then we press all the curds together for 2-3 hours. At the same time, with the curds, we press labels as well. And these are all labels from the government. On the label is the name, Gouda and a number. Each cheese has its own labels with its own number. After pressing the cheese, we put the cheese behind in salt water. The water is 20% salt for the taste, for the rind and to conserve cheese. A kilo, 12 hours in the water. Then we take cheese out, we put it on wooden shelves and then we put plastic around the cheese. The yellow coating outside is plastic. It's a liquid plastic. We dip it in with a sponge. This day on this side, the other day the other side. 2 times on each side. After a month, we can eat cheese. Then we have young cheese. 6 months, middle-aged, a little bit sharper in flavor. And 1 year or more for old cheese. This is old Edamm cheese. 2 years old. Very, very hard. Yeah. It's still good for eating. Really nice if you want to use it for evening bowling. And yeah, this cheese is really super cheese, ladies, for husband. Perfect. Now we have cheese with different flavors. Stinging nettle, caraway seeds, local beer, garlic, pesto, pepper. We throw everything in the cheese. Also this. And cannabis. Yeah, but don't worry, if you eat from this cheese, nothing happens. Oh, yeah. And this one is cheese as well, smoked cheese. Cheese first melted, later smoked. Now all the cheese with paper around, there is not only yellow plastic, and I think you've seen red wax before, because when there is a paper around, there is also wax. With wax around the cheese, you can keep it for 6 months out of the fridge. And the cheese stays young, it doesn't change. Now when we slice the cheese, we use the slicer. We remove the plastic, because it's not for eating it. It's for the next group later. And then we slice cheese like this. And this is for you, because I scared you a little bit. With the whole cheese. And this one is really nice to use in the kitchen for grating pizza, spaghetti. It will grate cheese and vegetables as well. So now I thank you for your attention. Finito.
Everyone settled. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our wooden shoe factory. My name is Marco Polo. I like to show you how we make wooden shoes, but more important, why do the Dutch people still wear wooden shoes? And are these wooden shoes comfortable? Well, if you take a look at a pair of wooden shoes, they don't look very comfortable. But when I tell you that we have been wearing wooden shoes ever since the 11th century in Holland, still producing 1.5 million pairs every year, then there must be something good about these wooden shoes. Or something terribly wrong with the Dutch people, but I prefer the first. Main reason that people started making them was poverty. Farmers could not afford to buy leather shoes. The wood was very cheap material. Now Holland, as you might know, is a very wet country. In 1 year we've got 31 days that it doesn't rain, and wooden shoes are waterproof. They keep your feet warm, they keep your feet dry, and they are very strong. They are good safety shoes. So they're worn outside and in factories, so farmers, gardeners, street pavers, fishermen, factory laborers, angry housewives, people who wear wooden shoes. And nowadays these wooden shoes are all made by machinery. In the earlier days it was done all by hand, starting with a fresh piece of wood. And the type of wood that is used is mostly poplar wood. When it's fresh, when it contains a lot of water, it cuts it like cheese. Now we used a big knife cutting the outside shape, and we had various drills to scoop out the inside of the wooden shoe, but for that I could use some help. So my friend, I would like to ask you to come forward for a second. You come around here, just take the knife, start cutting. Yeah? You got 4 hours.
Other way. No, put it down. A bit more of an angle. More. That's it. That's it. Here you go.
Line straight down.
Straight down. More of an angle.
Let's make it 6 hours. No, you're doing a good job. Thank you very much. Great. It's very important. And later on when we finish, I will erase your name on it. Yeah? Thank you very much. Now, I tell you that it's easy, but only to learn how to make them by hand takes 6 years. And then for each pair of wooden shoes, it's 4 hours. So nowadays we make them by machinery, and then it only takes 3 minutes. So you can understand that making them by hand is a dying trade. I am actually 1 out of 27 people in the Netherlands who can still make them by hand. I am 1 out of 10 with 10 fingers. I'm going to show you how it's done. This machine is over 100 years old. What it will do, you see a template on the right side. It all starts turning around, and this part feels off the template, and 3 sharp round knives cut out the same shape into the block of wood. They call that a pantograph. And there it is, that's how we get the outside shape. Before I go on with the inside, I will cut off this remaining piece here. Very handy kitchen knife also. Now, go over to this machine. Same system applies. Again, I will make a copy. Now the wood is still very wet, so it now has to dry. And we slowly dry it for 4 weeks outside. Let the wind go through, but never in the sun. Because if you would dry it in the sun, it would dry too fast and the wood might split. So not in the sun, but we don't have sun in Holland, so no problem. Then we polish it on a sandpaper belt, and then finally we have a little wooden shoe like this one, meant for a child of 1 year old. That might look big for a 1-year-old child, but that's normal because, well, we wear them a little bit bigger. With a finger space behind the heel and a thick woolen sock. It takes 2 days to get used to walking on these shoes, but then they just walk like Nike's or Adidas shoes. Well, we got some special shoes over here in the front. We got nicely painted ones with flowers and birds. They were meant to go to the church on Sundays. Flowers for love, birds for freedom. Carved wooden shoes that were used for the wedding. It was an old tradition that if a boy was in love with a girl and he wanted to get married to that girl, then he first had to carve her a pair of wooden shoes. 200 hours of carving, so enough time to think over if he really wanted to get married. When he finished his carving, he would go to her house asking her, will you marry me? And then when she said yes, he would carve her name in the shoe. And then she would wear it on the wedding day. And then hopefully they would stay together happily ever after. But sometimes it could go wrong that they would divorce. But then he would ask the shoes back. Just take a piece of sandpaper and rub away the name for the next girl. We had shoes that were used for skating in winter time. Shoes for working horses in the peat districts. We have shoes for the national Dutch football players. Now you know why we never win. Used by fishermen to walk safely on the ice. Also handy when they had to repair their netting because they could pull it tight over the nose of the shoe. We even had wooden shoes worn by criminals and smugglers. And the Dutch people used to smuggle a lot from Belgium because in Belgium everything was cheaper. And then from Belgium they would go back to Holland over the beach. But then it would be easy for the Belgian police to see where they went because they could see their footprints in the sand. But the smuggler knew that, so he had a pair of wooden shoes with the footprint turned upside down. It's like a smuggler walking this way, giving the Belgian police the impression that he's gone the other way. Right. Now that's a little story on how we make wooden shoes. Inside, if you like, you can try on a pair of wooden shoes. On the unpainted ones, we can personalize, we can write names, we can make decorations like a windmill or tulips. We got all of our cheeses for you to taste, so I would suggest you all have a look around. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice time and have fun.
Thank you.
So that was a great introduction, explanation, and demonstration of wooden shoes and actually how they start off the cheese. Of course, the best part of the tour, we're actually going to have a bunch of tastings of cheese and a bunch of other things. It's amazing how they're selling all this other stuff. It's good to support them locally, especially since they are one on their own, and they actually make everything here on premises, which is actually pretty neat. It's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. Hey guys, we actually just went 4 minutes down the street. We're actually in another town called Volendam, and yeah, it's beautiful here. Small little quaint town, now overrun by tourists. But we're actually at a lake. It actually looks like the ocean, but it's not. It's fresh water. It's probably the largest lake around this area, so that's pretty neat. A lot of these homes and a lot of these people have been here for so long. It's kind of nice to see small town bustling, you know, being a little bit prosperous from all the tourism. People get away from Amsterdam, of course, but Amsterdam's a beautiful city, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, you know, with certain things that are there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's good to get away, see other stuff. Surprisingly, I'm going to eat in front of the camera. The only reason why is because this is the first time I'm having smoked eel. It actually looks pretty good. It smells quite fine. Well, here we go for a bite. It's really nice. There's bones in it, but you can barely tell at all. But it's nice and smooth, and the smokiness comes right at the end. Delicious. I recommend it. And of course, since we're here by the sea, of course, or by the water, the lake, they have a lot of fresh fish. So we just had cod and chips. It's a lot different breading than you would get English fish and chips. It's a lot lighter. You can taste more of the fish, and the chunks are a lot bigger. So we're gonna dig in. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be great. Well, lunch was absolutely delicious. It was fresh fried. It took a little longer than I thought, but it made perfect sense. It made it ever more delicious, of course. I'm never gonna get used to the excessive amounts of tartar sauce they use here compared to my standards, of course. I'm North American, where you just put ketchup on everything. But here, there's lots of mayo and lots of tartar sauce instead. But yeah, it was great nonetheless. Now we're just walking through some little town streets. Still beautiful and quiet. That's where we gotta be. It's got a lot of character. That's pretty cool. You don't see that in big cities. So it's nice to get away. And if you can, please do. I heavily suggest it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Especially if I'm seeing like a big city, as you probably can tell. Get away, do some other stuff, some other things. You meet some new people. You never know. Take a nice stroll, and all of a sudden, you're out here looking across this beautiful lake. Yep, now it's finally in the focus. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's good to get away. Big city, and of course, church bells everywhere. Letting you know what time it is. I'm not used to that either. Used to like my phone going off or a watch or something like that, but yeah, I'm not used to the churches yet. Be quiet, pretty neat. Definitely one of my favorite times during this trip so far. And that was our tour just to the small town just outside of Amsterdam. I hope you guys enjoyed that, because I know I did. We learned a few things, tasted a few cheeses and stuff. Saw some things that I wouldn't normally see in Amsterdam, but it's great nonetheless. I always appreciate that. So, if you like this kind of thing, you know what to do. Leave it a like. And if you guys want to see more, I do have a little bit more coming up. Feel free to subscribe and wait for stuff like that. And also, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think, your thoughts. What you guys did in Amsterdam when you guys were here. What I should do next time if I ever come by this way. Who knows, I might. And I have other videos as well. If you guys want to see more here or there, wherever on the screen I'm going to put it. But until then, sure, I'll see you guys next time.